Good morning, it's me again. I know I'm running a little bit late with my posting, but it's fine. I just had other stuff going on. My film looks funny. I wonder if I need to clean my glasses. But yeah, there's just been a lot of stuff going on, and the weather's been really bad, so that's been like messing with me a bit. And I mean, it's not really anything going on that's like crazy, but it's just like, unless you count the stuff we're seeing on the news. Yeah, that's a little better. My camera still looks like it's pretty punky today for some reason. I wonder if the storms had something to do with it, or maybe I just didn't notice that the camera's not that great of quality. I am planning on getting better equipment at a point when I can afford to, and then maybe I can actually do this a little bit better. At this point, I feel like I'm not. I'm kind of in a pretty low position in a number of ways. So at this point, I'm not really. Yeah. Um. But I didn't get as much money as I needed to this month with my sales. No, people didn't take advantage of my great prices. So I don't know what to do about that. Um, Maybe I should do the 50% off when we have a sale going that isn't the end of the month and see if that helps. Because I do need to clear out the booth a bit. John says it's getting cluttered looking, and I know he's kind of, yeah, I wouldn't say he's stupid, but maybe he doesn't pay attention, which is kind of a problem with their generation. They just kind of shut things out when they don't want to deal with it. It is what it is. Every generation has their issues. Um, and as my daughter keeps saying, he's a man. So yeah. Uh, I'm, I'm not gonna say that to be like cruel or anything, because men do think and react very different than women, and that's where a lot of communication problems happen because of people just aren't willing to take the time to clarify. And that's that. But yeah, I'll get back to that here in a minute. I want to finish my first thought. That's something I need to improve. Um, yeah, so maybe I'll try to do the 50% off when it's when we have a sale going on that's not the end of the month. Because then um people might be able to get be more interested in it. Uh, just because maybe they have money at that point. Because the problem with the beginning of the month and the end of the month is that yeah, a lot of people are getting various benefits, but like at the beginning of the month, but they have to make sure that their bills are getting paid. So they don't feel like they have a lot of money until after they've taken care of all those important things. And that used to just be like people on benefits, like government benefits. And nowadays it's everybody, because for whatever reason, I don't fully understand it all. Everything is just crazy ass expensive. And yeah, I find that to be a bit ridiculous, but I don't have any control over it. Yeah, so maybe I'll try to do the 50% off again when we have a sale that's more in the middle of the month, because then people might actually take better advantage of it. Uh, so yeah, because I have to get the booth cleared out, and John's not real good at listening, so yeah. So that kind of brings me to what I wanted to talk about today. But I will show you what I've done with the mushrooms. The mushroom pattern has little dotty things on it. But if I do it with the variegate, I don't have to do the dots. So I can do these up much quicker. And I really like how this neon one turned out. I could do this one, I think it's called black light. I could do these much quicker with the variegates. And these sell a lot because they're like $4 and people like them. My little tiny turtles sell pretty quickly. They're $2.50, but I think people are yeah, I think they're kind of everybody's got one now. Or at least I get that feeling. It's not really like here's a turtle. The tiny turtles are like $2.50, and then I got these little jellyfish that are $2.50, and I still have all the jellyfish because they're not selling. But I think they might be buried. That might be why they're not selling. I'm starting my new stuff. I'm getting really close to done with some of these projects with my new little kitty things, but I'm gonna do that more as like a Christmas thing, unless people ask me to do it, for some other reason. But yeah, I'm trying to get them all done up because there's a lot of work involved with doing a playset. And it's not just like one toy with a few other little toys that goes with it. This is like a baby doll with clothing, and it's gonna have a blanket. I don't know if I can figure out bottles, but you can get little toy bottles that they come with a bunch of toys that kids might actually already have. And he didn't meow until I get every time, I swear. But yeah, yeah, that's the thing. But I was gonna want to talk to a little bit about communication because I'm noticing that seems to be a problem for a lot of people, and it definitely is an issue we're having here at my house with the roommates because they are millennials and I'm Gen X. So we do actually communicate differently. And then the guy that's not family is just, I don't know if he's like lonely delayed or if he's just dismissing everything. But whatever. One of the things with communication is that there is differences between the way one generation talks and the other. I got lucky and didn't have to deal with a lot of extreme differences when I was growing up because there wasn't really a whole lot of cultural difference from when my great grandmother um, had developed her communication skills to when I developed mine. So there are a few things like cultural references that we didn't get, or like things that they were saying that I didn't get. But I knew that it was a cultural reference or some stupid thing that they were saying because their friends said it. And nowadays, we have the computers and all these stupid things that are going on in the world and the dumb things that other people are thinking and saying and just ridiculousness and just the weirdness, like the alphabet soup text that I can't read. I'm old, guys. Keep that in mind. I mean, I'm not crazy old, but I'm almost 50, so I don't know. You send me a b j, what was it? OMG KDD. I can't remember the rest of it, but it was like I know that OMG is oh my god, but the rest of it was just. You want to tell me something? Type it out. The OMG, I know OMG, LOL, and there's another one. Um, but I don't understand when the whole line is that. So don't do that to me. Also, yeah. So basically, when you're trying to communicate with somebody, you have to take into consideration who you're communicating with. Like you would speak very differently to your boss than you would to your mother or your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever with that one. Because nowadays, I don't know. Um, I'm not trying to be like rude or anything. It's just the social concepts and the way that people perceive themselves and each other is very different from when I was a kid, and it's like really different. So I don't even know. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know, but it's very different. These different levels of communications, and one of the things that I am noticing is that people don't understand the difference between who they're talking to, and they'll like post like part of the reason I know that they're scammers is because they'll post job ads with misspelled words, the wrong words, and also the pay or whatever the cost is will have the dollar sign on the wrong side of the money. And then if you talk to them about it, they'll be like, "Well, in Europe they do it that way," and I'm like, "Well, we're not in Europe. This is America, guys. You got to do it the America way." Because we're American, and you can't. Well, that's how we do it. You can't really change that until it's officially something like if the whole world goes to crap and we stop being a country, then you can change all you want. We'll probably what I can imagine happening if that does happen, which is it's extreme, so it's probably not going to. But if it does happen, the little states will probably just become their own little countries. Um, and we'll just all do it our way. But like I said, I don't see that actually happening because it's an extreme thing. Right now we're in a depression. It's a financial depression. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in the world. So that's what's going on with some of the stuff that makes people think the government's failing and it's going to collapse and all that stuff. I don't think it's going to. At least we're not seeing a lot of signs of that yet. Um, so that's just where that is. But yeah, like who you're talking to, really you have to be able to adjust your mind to who you're talking to, because some of the misunderstandings that people are having are because somebody, whether it's the kid or the adult, and I say it that way because like the older person or the younger person, I should probably say, because my brain is like stuck in the 80s, because that happens a lot when you get 50. Just so you know, I mean, you're not gonna get, if you're like a millennial, you're not gonna get stuck in the 80s. You're probably gonna get stuck in the early 2000s. Yeah, so that's kind of a thing that happens as you start to get old. Your brain loses elasticity, and you're not able to adjust your thinking as much. And that's probably why there's a lot of push for younger people to be more respectful to older people, plus all the things that we gave up as your parents and grandparents, so that you could have the future that you have, even if it's a shitty one. But yeah, it's better than it would have been if we didn't care. So there's that. Um, but um, but yeah, because we lose, I think it's called elasticity or plasticine, or just it depends on who's talking, I think. But your brain doesn't function as well after you're a certain age, and so it's harder to understand things. But I know this, so when I talk to my son, who's very intelligent but autistic, sometimes we get misunderstandings because when I sit and I ask him for, if I just say what, he just repeats himself. So I have to actually be like, I need more information, or I don't understand what you're talking about. And if he repeats himself again, then I'm just like, dude, think about it. Try to get him to be able to talk to me on a level that I can understand, because I don't know what he's talking about. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Things are changing really quickly, and I don't keep up with it anymore because there's the news is weird, and yeah, half the time you hear about something that turns out to be a scam or some kind of fraud, and it's just, yeah, I don't know what's going on these days. So there's a lot of stuff that he's interested in that I don't even care about. So then that's the other thing. I mean, I care because he cares, but when it comes to like my brain, I can't. So, but if I'm talking yarn, he gets bored too. So that's kind of the thing, is like, you have to be aware of who you're talking to when you're trying to communicate. And if something's important, you need to be more able to try to make sure that that important thing gets through to that person's head. There's always going to be that one guy or gal or person or whatever that's just like, they're thick-headed, or they're stubborn or whatever. They just don't get it. They're not gonna get it. So that's always gonna be a thing. Um, mm. But yeah, like trying to communicate with people, you have to take into consideration who they are, and if they and whether or not they actually want to understand you. So I'm seeing a lot of like people flipping out lately, and it sounds like it's some stupid argument over some dumb thing, and it's a communication problem, but somebody flips out and grabs a gun. Now, why are you doing that? Why are you going to that extreme? I know they're probably nuts, but or on drugs or something, but still, don't go to that extreme. If you can't communicate with somebody, step back. Maybe if you have access to somebody that understands them better, you can talk to them, and maybe either they can talk to them or they can help you talk to them. Because that's like, because communication doesn't have to end in a shooting. um, yeah, so that's part of the reason why I want to talk to communications, because about communications and like between the generations, and even between like the sexes, because we don't think alike. We're not programmed the same. Men and women have very different biology, not biology, chemistry. We have very different focuses. We're oftenly led to be interested in very different things, especially my generation. I don't know if it's that bad, if it's so much in the younger generations, but you're going to have some butting of heads, because women are taught that certain things are more important, and men are taught that different set of certain things are more important. So you're going to be like, so you have to try to be, you have to try to be able uh, to like, yeah, I know that you think this is important, but this other thing is also important, kind of a thing, and be able to understand that from each other's point of view. So I'm not like a shrink or anything, so I don't know the technical ways of doing it. But yeah, I think that learning to communicate with each other better is a really good thing. So that's probably not the bestest of advice, but I gotta go get that cat, so I'm gonna have to cut it here because he's gonna tear up the door if I don't. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.